let's start this freaking podcast. Hold on, let me get ready to record. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
You've known them to run their mouths about politics. Politics, schmalitics. Well, little did you know, they can run their mouths about other stuff as well. This is the Mark G Show. They have a natural curiosity about just about everything, from aliens, the paranormal, to the biggest natural disasters that have ever occurred on planet Earth, and everything in between. Two brothers from another mother ripping it up. And oh no, we don't record the show. We have the balls to do it live. Call into the show at 207-370-5852. That's 207-370-5852. Be a part of the show. Let's do it. This is the Mark G Show. And now your hosts, Mark G and Gary G.
What is going on? TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Kick. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mark G Show. What a freaking week we have in store for everybody from what I'm seeing in a week that we've already had. And of course, during the intro, as y'all can see, Gary got food, so he will be shoving meat in his mouth as we're filming this episode. As always, Gary is eating. I want to see how many people in chat right now enjoy seeing somebody shove their mouth full or live. Just, I mean,
listen,
the chat right now.
Hey, bro,
Great.
Don't give me that shit. I gotta eat. I just got done with the gym. I got my rice, my chicken, my beef, and my kimchi. Oh, yeah, fuck this intro.
And as I said, I'm your host, baby, Mark G, coming live and direct with the Mark G Show, y'all. Let's get this fucking show started. Come on.
I'm gonna make this an ASMR show of just me slopping into the microphone.
Listen. You had plenty of time to eat prior to the show recording.
It just got done, dude.
You were like,
just
oh,
got cooked. This is fresh.
Why didn't your wife cook it prior?
Because she was out doing shit, and she just
horrible.
got back, and she made me food. I just got done with the gym. I showered up.
Aw, so good. Anyways, folks, welcome in.
Hate you, Mark.
Love you too, man. Anyways, y'all, we got a hell of a show for y'all today. So we're going to talk about UFOs here in a little bit later because California at the beginning of the week or over the weekend spotted multiple UFOs in different locations, which is interesting because UFOs, hey, are aliens coming to visit now? Is that going to be our big November surprise? Are we going to get attacked by aliens or are they going to finally take Joe Biden back home? Then we're also going to talk about the DNC. What's happening in Madison on TikTok? We're going to talk about the DNC, what's going on over there right now. Some interesting stuff that happened today with California, with them giving out their delegates to the DNC. We're going to talk about, well, are we in for a nuclear war here soon? Are we expecting nuclear missiles to come towards us or somewhere else? Because there's just a recent warning that was brought out in the New York Times. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how the left are so hateful and spiteful and how they will attack anybody due to just a hat that says Trump on their head. All that coming up here on the Mark G Show. So yeah, but let's get some shit out of the way. Like, Gary, what the fuck's up, man? How have you been? It's been about a week since we recorded last.
Been good. Just working, going to the gym, trying to live a good life, trying to not consume myself with all of the current events going on, but I find myself being consumed by all of the current events going on.
You kind of have to in this day and age, right?
Craziness, man. I don't know what's going on, but I know what I'm reading, and it's kind of weird.
I mean, one moment Biden was going to be the person running against Donald Trump, and now we have Trump. I mean, now we have Kamala running against Trump.
Who voted her as the presidential candidate again? Just kind of curious.
Oh, that would be the elites. That wasn't even the American people. That wasn't anybody who's registered Democrat, but they're agreeing with it, which is kind of funny, right? Because they're like, oh, well, we voted for her to be VP.
Wasn't she like
Biden.
the most lowest approved, the lowest approved VP of all time, and now she's like the best possible presidential candidate?
She absolutely was. She was most hated. Matter of fact, when she ran for president, funny thing was she didn't even get a single vote. So, I mean, how can you go from getting 0 votes when you were actually running for president to being a DEI hire by Biden to be his VP pick? And you can't say she wasn't, because Biden came out openly and said, I will be picking a black VP, a black woman VP. He legitimately said he was going to be out getting a black woman VP.
Correct, KC. It is a coup.
Oh, 100% a coup. I mean, I'm surprised. I really wish that Biden, during the DNC speech yesterday, that he would have came out and like put them all on blast. But then again, is that really Biden? I mean, he's gotten taller. I mean, when I got Rona, I didn't gain a few extra inches afterwards. That to me, that's kind of shocking. He has grown a couple of inches because now he's taller than his wife.
It's weird how he's gotten taller, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely weird.
His earlobes keep changing. I don't understand what's going on with that guy.
No, it's very confusing.
Maybe he's one of the lizard people.
Oh, dear God. Let's not go Alex Jones over here.
No? Come on. But they're turning the frogs gay.
Anyways, yeah. So we got that with Biden. I mean, yeah. So what do you think happened with Biden? Do you think like they went in when he was quote unquote sick, went into the room and said, "Hey, Biden, here's the thing. You're gonna have to drop out and allow Kamala to run. And if you don't, they handed him an envelope. And when Biden opened up that envelope, it was a picture of JFK. And he opened up and goes, oh, God has spoken.
I mean,
Must drop out.
I don't think he knows what's going on anyway.
Oh, absolutely not.
Off of his mental capacity that they probably just said, hey, you know what, Joe? I think it's a good idea you step down. And he's probably just like, okay, that's a good idea. Like, I don't know if he...
But see, I don't think he had to give up a fight, because during that interview that he had, remember, he told him the only way that he was going to drop out and not run was if God himself made it so he couldn't. So there's this thing going around that when he was in Las Vegas, that there was a major medical event that happened with him. And excuse me, there is a audio clipping out there by Laura Loomer on X from scanner feeds out there that did mention that they're escorting POTUS to the hospital. Did you hear all that? Like they were mentioning.
Yeah, but they said the same thing on Air Force One, that there's a major medical emergency and there wasn't. So
they did, but then where did all that chatter come from the radio communications from dispatch? So that's what makes this one a little bit more.
Who's to say that's even real?
That is true. Things could be faked.
That's what I'm saying. Nowadays, it's so hard. Like I've been watching some of these AI videos of like, I don't know if you saw the one with Trump and pregnant Kamala.
Oh, Trump and pregnant Kamala is freaking awesome. I love
like
that.
I mean, it doesn't look as real as it could, but
right,
looks pretty good.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, so if they're doing that with video, what are they doing with audio? And we know that the audio stuff is way better than the video.
100%. Yeah, well, Casey's saying from sources, yeah, there are reports of law enforcement officers saying that that was the case. I would agree with Casey on that one. So, I mean, it really depends on where people what they want to believe. Do I think there could have possibly been a medical event with Biden? 100%, because the guy's not looking healthy. And that day when he was getting on the steps of Air Force One, he was moving a lot slower than he should have, and he was looking extremely sick. So the questions to be
That's just dementia.
Dementia. I mean, could he have had a stroke, and that's why they had to rush him to the hospital, and they're keeping it away from the public? What would be the reasoning from keeping it from the public? Do you think it would cause mass chaos with other countries if they found out that our standing president went ahead and had a stroke?
I mean, thank you. The president's not in charge anyway.
Absolutely. He
They
hasn't been
say
in
he's the
charge.
commander in chief, but Biden's not in charge.
There was U-Hauls at the White House the other day. Did you see that picture?
I did not.
Yeah, so I'll see if we can find that here when we get through on X. But yeah, there was U-Hauls. Somebody took a picture of the White House, and there was U-Hauls there. I wonder if they're already moving Biden out. Or what are they moving out of the White House?
Or is it just people protesting and
At the White House? Like
inside the perimeter?
Inside the perimeter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the U-Haul trucks are inside the perimeter.
Interesting.
Yeah, Sully, maybe it is a need to know, but we the people should know, right? Because we the people technically hired Joe Biden, which means we are technically his boss in a sense. They are supposed to work for us. That's how the government's supposed to work, anyways. But that's not how it's actually working.
Yeah, but we're not supposed to be plugged into every detail.
Well, I mean, if we got U-Hauls at the White House, we should be able to know what the hell's going on. That's not a national security.
How do you know?
How would U-Hauls at the White House be a national security?
Why would they not be?
What would make U-Hauls a national security?
I mean, who knows why anybody does what they do?
I mean, could Biden be getting ready to write another book and he need more documents?
Maybe he needed an order of his depends.
Okay, well, maybe we don't want to know about his depends. Right, Dave. That's right. Dave says they're moving in the documents from under Biden's Corvette. Oh man, I'm telling y'all, it's getting crazy out there. Let's piss some people off real quick. I feel like we need to piss some people off. As y'all know right now, there's a DNC happening right now. Biden spoke last night. Protesters have been out there. Oh, speaking of the protesters, ladies and gentlemen, I want to be the first to let everybody know that I'm 100% pro-life, right? I don't believe in abortions. I don't believe in none of that. Yes, I did get a vasectomy after having 5 kids. That's when I finally said, it's time to get snipped. But I don't believe in abortions. But hear me out. Currently at the DNC, Planned Parenthood is over there offering free abortions and free vasectomies for anybody that wants them. You go into the trailer and you get your abortion and you get your vasectomy. Now, this is where I'm going to say I'm for it. Because to be honest with you, the less the left and the Democrats have for children, hey, better for us. I mean, if you want to ask me about it. So I'm down for it. Let them get their freebies during the DNC. Parked right out in front out there, the DNC. They can go ahead and get it. And it's funny because Fox has been blasting that all day long too about the fucking free abortions and free vasectomies there. They tried going through your insurance, but they got like a whole slide scale thing going on. So if you don't have enough money, then yeah, you can go in there. Yeah. Right. So that's one thing that they're pushing right at the DNC. Another thing that was quite disgusting before I get to this video of this protest that's happening outside the DNC is they did one of the speeches was a guy who I believe was suffering, who has ALS, and he was up on stage. They were acting as if he was talking. There was a lady up there with him, and she was saying everything on it. And the guy literally was incoherent. You could not understand a single thing he was saying. He was talking. I'm not trying to tease him, folks, but I'm trying to let you all know. He's going. So as he was saying that, nothing that you could say. The lady was there, and she was acting like she was repeating what he was saying so everybody could understand it. Which to me is sickening.
So she was translating what he was saying. I'll see if I can find that speech over on X here shortly. What's going on, Martin? But yeah, so that's absolutely disgusting. But let's get to something else that's going to piss some people off. If you're a veteran, this is probably really going to piss you off. If you're a true American, this is really going to piss you off. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go. Oh. It'll piss you off, but it is freedom of expression and freedom of speech, right?
That's correct.
That's what makes America one of the many things that makes America a great country.
Okay.
And so that is in direct conflict,
What's got to piss you off?
it should piss you off.
It should absolutely piss you off.
But
So
you
let's
should
go-
also understand.
All right, so let's go ahead and switch it over. TikTok, if you can't hear the audio when we get over there, please let me know. We should be able to. I tested out before we started, so everything should be working. So let's go over to the screen share. Hey, look at that. Now we're nice and tiny over here. So what you're seeing is a post by Colin Rugg. It says, breaking reporter Ben Bergwam gets assaulted by far-left extremists outside of the DNC after he tried stopping them from, well, what would you think? Burning the American flag. I wouldn't read what they're going to say here because I want you to hear the protesters say it themselves. So let's go ahead and play this video. Can I blow it up?
Yep.
Here we go. Let's go ahead and play this video for you.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
It's all right. Don't burn the American flag.
We did. And
You're fucking It's our country. It's our country.
fuck
Don't
this
burn the
country.
American flag.
Burn it down. Burn it down.
You guys are the
I'm going to stop it right there because it goes back into where he's defending our American flag and so forth. I just want to show that clip real quick because for anybody out there protesting, number one, I don't agree with burning the American flag, but it is their right as an American to do so. But the moment that you say, fuck this country, burn it down, why the hell are you even living here at that point? If you do not like America, move. Go ahead and try going to the country that you're trying to protect and see how long you last. How long you last. I guarantee you'll get off that plane and you won't even last a full day the way you are acting in America. You will be gone. You will be taught, well, you will be hung probably in the middle of town square. And more other stuff that I just can't say on social media without getting banned.
And that's the craziest thing, right? Like here you have the ability and the right to say and do those things. You don't have to be right, but you have the freedom to say that. You can burn the American flag. I think it means you're kind of a POS, but you can do that. You have that right. And if you burn down the country and if you destroy what America stands for, then you will not have that right anymore. And then once you do that, really bad things happen.
Right. 100%. I mean, but here's what I get a kick out of that I can't understand, right? What's going on, Reptile Mama? I see you out there. So you have the right to burn the American flag, which a lot good American citizens do not agree with. But if you turn around and you're protesting and you burn the pride flag, you get arrested and charged with a hate crime.
Isn't that wild?
That does not make sense to me. And
doesn't.
no one has been able to make that make sense to me at all because it doesn't make sense. If you have the right to burn down the American flag, we should have the right to burn the pride flag.
Huh.
All right, and I agree with you, customer support. You said he does it behind a mask. 100% does it behind a mask because they're afraid to show their true identity. Because I guarantee that person has a job.
Uh-huh.
And
Or maybe they don't.
Or maybe they don't. They could be living in the basement. But I mean, at this point, they're trying to hide their identity because they don't want anybody to know who they truly are. And the thing is, too, are these people hired actors? Because there was reports. Now, listen, the quote unquote, these are reports, whether or not it's true, because I haven't got any confirmation. Bricks being laid around town, kind of like during the BLM riots, where these stacks of bricks have been left around town for people to use. Those are some of the stuff that I've seen going out there. What was a couple other things I was going to say about the DNC? There was something else I was going to talk to you about for the DNC. Do you remember?
I don't know, Mark. We didn't prepare.
We absolutely did not prepare, which is fine. But I mean, folks, what are your thoughts? Out in chat right now, let us know what your thoughts are about what people have done to the American flag. Do you think that burning the American flag should not be a right anymore, and you should actually be charged with a crime if you burn the American flag? Do you think other countries allow people to burn their country flag?
Again, that's what makes America. You have the freedom of expression. It's a shitty thing to do, but you can do it. It's a shitty thing to do, but you can do it.
All right. Well, let's go to Biden's speech real quick. We were talking about how crazy Biden's been, right? First and foremost, a friend of mine on TikTok did make a good comment. When I said that Biden's speech was absolutely horrible, he said, Mark, no, you got it wrong. Biden did a damn good job for the Republicans. So we're going to go ahead and play Biden's. There's a couple of them here. All right. So let me, we're going to go ahead and go back to the screen share over here. Let's see here. I'm learning all this new stuff here. So there's a couple of different clips. So let's go to the first one here.
We know from his own chief of staff, the four-star General John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in France. The brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
This doesn't look like the Biden we know, but let's continue.
There's no words for a person. They are not the words of a person not worthy of being commander-in-chief, period. Not then, not now, and not ever. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Just as no commander-in-chief should ever bow down to a dictator, the way Trump bows down to Putin. I never have, and I promise you, Kamala Harris will never do it. Will never bow down.
All right, so that's video one. We'll go through all four of these speeches, and then we'll discuss them afterwards.
Suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is?
Okay, wait a minute. I just...
Suckers and losers.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that. So first and foremost, I want to go on to the Putin thing. And let's talk about this whole Putin thing real quick, because Trump was never, quote unquote, friends with Putin. The thing is, Trump is a businessman, and he knows that you should keep your enemies close. No, keep your friends and family close. What the fuck? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And that's exactly what he did. What? I'm skipping through that. So Trump knew to keep Putin within a circle, but Putin also knew not to fuck with Trump.
I think that you can respect somebody and not necessarily like them or agree with them. And I think that's his position with like North Korea, Putin, and you know, Xi Jinping. I think he respects them because they're powerful, but I don't think he necessarily likes them or agrees with them. Like, there are people that I respect, but I don't like them.
Right. I 100% agree with you on that one.
So I think that's his position, and I think people look. Trump has an interesting way with words. I think he's fucking hilarious personally, but a lot of people are turned off by the way he says things. But they take it out of context, and they either, because he's all about like hyperbole, right? Like he exaggerates the things. Because that's what he does. He's a man of marketing, and so he exaggerates. And I think having respect for these people are like he's bowing down to them or he's liking them. He just respects people in positions of power. And whether you like Putin or Kim Jong-un or Xi Jinping, like, look, these guys are dictators in their country, and like they make people disappear that are not agreeing with them. And it's not a good way to do things, but that's what they do. And they're powerful men. And Trump respects power because he's been at the helm for so long that that's just what he knows.
Right. No, I agree with you. Now, one of the benefits about Trump is Trump don't drink. Let's talk about this rumor that's coming out about Kamala, because I did have that within the title. There's rumors that Kamala loves to have the drink, and she loves to drink when she is out in public, and hence the reason why that's why she hasn't been doing any public speaking as far as with press. So I'm going to bring up this one post from Gypsy1776 over on Twitter and X. I did not get to watch this real quickly, but this is a post. Oh, actually, here, let's go with AKA. Let's go with AK posted on X, better yet. It says, breaking, multiple police officers have come forward stating that Kamala is 100% intoxicated in this clip, and she would have been charged with a DUI if she was behind a wheel of a car. So let's go ahead and share the screen over here. Let's go to the speech and listen to her talk on this one here. Give me 1 second.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy, you know, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy. When it's intact, oh, it's so strong in terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms. So strong in its nature. And it's very fragile. It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Because when we think of
her hand motions and the way she's speaking does show signs of possible drunkenness, but could this just be how Kamala is?
I mean, Trump talks with his hands. He's very animated.
He does, but I don't know. She's very slow, and she's talking to these people as if they're fucking children. And a lot of people who are drunk will start doing that too, and they start talking to people. But then again, I don't know. These just rumors. But if it comes to find out that she is heavy drinker and she's drinking, do we really want to trust a president with our nuclear codes if they're drunk 24/7? I think there was only one other president that had a huge drinking problem. I can't remember who it was. There was a president that we had that had a major drinking problem.
I'm looking it up right now. So Franklin Pierce, Andrew Johnson, and Ulysses S. Grant were known to binge drink.
I think Grant was the worst, wasn't he? I think that's what I heard. Was Grant was the worst.
Franklin Pierce might have been America's most alcoholic president. He drank hard for his entire life and kept drinking right through the end of his presidency.
What was he registered as?
I don't know.
Find out what he's registered. I'm curious now. Let's see. Is he a Republican or is he a Democrat? I can't remember. I'm so bad with my fucking history. But I would be curious. Hold on, chat. We're going to see what he's registered as here. Gary's the man of research over there. And I want to talk about talking slow because I wonder if Trump's campaign's trying to do something here as well. I want to find Trump's speech today.
He was a Democrat? Hold on.
He was a Democrat?
Yeah, late 1832, the Democratic Party convention nominated Pierce.
Oh, all right. So he was even a Democrat. Interesting. All right. So, well,
yeah, but Democrats back in 1832 were not the same as Democrats now.
No,
and that's something that it needs to be taken into consideration, right?
I will agree with you on that. Yeah, Democrats and Republicans kind of flip-flopped from where they're at. Like the Democrats are more for the working class family back in the day, and the Republicans were more about money and power. That I did hear quite a bit of that. I'm looking for the Trump speech today. Did you watch Trump's rally today? Or Trump? Trump was in front of a couple of law enforcement officers today. At the ending, he got cocky and funny.
Well, that's what he does. He's cocky and he's funny. That's just
it is. But the thing is, I want to find the video here. The thing is, today during the speech, he seems like he's talking a little bit slower now. Like he doesn't seem to be his typical self. And it seems like it's been like that for about a week. And I'm beginning to wonder if it's because of the new people he's hired to help him run the campaign. Like they said, listen, you got to dwindle it down. You need to slow down. Don't be so wild. I'm wondering if that's the case. And it sucks because I wanted to find that friggin' post, but all I can find is when he let off on the reporter. That was freaking hilarious. Shit. Yeah, I cannot even find it right now because, God damn it. The wife shared it to me earlier today, too. I should have shared you a bunch of friggin' Twitter posts before we started this. That's all right, folks. Anyways, my opinion of Trump, number one, we got to get him in office. Number two, let's talk about RFK, actually. Let's go there real quick. Reports coming out that RFK may be dropping out. Let's play Charlie Kirk's post here. Let's go to the screen share real quick and talk about this because this
Charlie
could be
Kirk
huge.
is great.
Charlie Kirk is freaking awesome. So let's go to this. This lady here that you're seeing is the running mate with RFK. This would be RFK's VP pick.
I did see this one.
All right, so we're gonna play this. This is Nicole Shannon doing a podcast, and listen to what she says, and then we'll talk about that real quick. Here we go.
You know, there's two options that we're looking at, and one is staying in, forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Walt's presidency because we draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump, or we walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump and you know, we walk away from that and we explain to our base why we're making this decision. You know, there's two options.
Okay, it's just repeating. I mean, alone in itself, if RFK did that, and if Donald Trump could find a position for RFK within his administration, and they back Trump, that would be a phenomenal base to pick up. And I think would be a huge pickup within Trump's voting polls. Because RFK, whether people like it or not, RFK does have quite the huge base right now. He does. A lot of people are sick and tired of the two candidates that we have running right now. They are. They're tired of Trump. They're tired of Kamala. And they want to get RFK. That is true, Casey. They cannot promise him. Well, can he offer him? I thought he could offer him a position. Or is he not able to? Or is that because RFK's running as a candidate for presidency right now?
Yeah, I don't know that.
I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that, Casey, only because I don't know about it, but I will take your word for it if you can't promise him a position. Oh, it's an exchange for his endorsement. Okay, gotcha. All right, so yeah, in that case, then he should wait. But if RFK backs him up, I think that would be phenomenal for Trump. Yeah, next is we've been watching the DNC. We're going to speak about that before I went into the next segment over here. We've been talking politics now for about a half hour. We can talk about the DNC. California has come out and said that they are passing on giving their delegates to Kamala. Every other state gave their delegates to Kamala, but California passed on their delegates. There's only a couple of reasons why a state would pass on giving their delegates to a presidential candidate, and that could be for these following reasons. A contested convention. In a party's national convention, if no candidate has a majority of delegates required to secure the nomination after the first ballot, delegates are often released from their commitment to a specific candidate and subsequent in rounds of voting, they may choose to pass on voting until they have more clarity or until they see how other delegates are voting. Delegates abstaining. In some cases, delegates may choose to abstain from voting in a particular round, effectively passing on casting their vote for any candidate. This might occur in a situation where there are no consensus among the delegates from that state, or if they are waiting for further development. The other one is primary caucus issues. If a state fails to hold its primary or caucus correctly, or if there are legal challenges, the state delegates might not be allocated until those issues are resolved. In rare cases, if a state could lose its delegates entirely if it violates party rules. And the last one is strategic decisions. Sometimes a state's party leadership may choose to withhold delegates temporarily as a strategic move, especially in a contested nomination process, to leverage their influence later on. So those are the reasons why California, they could have been that they wanted Newsom, right? They could have hoped that Kamala didn't have it. And the customer support saying there was a big red push in Cali. And I don't blame them, right? California is really being affected by this whole open border scenario right now as well, along with California and all the other states surrounding the border. I mean, folks, I don't really want to go too deep within all of this right now, but all I can say is if we vote for Kamala, shit's going to get even harder. Number one, where's this $25,000 to help with a down payment for people to buy their first home coming from? That's obviously going to be coming from taxpayers. It has to, because where else is it going to come from? Where is the other one was Kamala was planning on capping off. Stop price gouging. The price gouging. She was going to stop it. She's going to make it a law.
Price gouging on what specifically?
Food. And if she does that and puts a cap on food costs, that is going to suck. That will destroy the economy. Right? Casey says, so do I get $25K if I sell myself my house? Interesting.
But won't that just bump up the cost of houses 25 grand?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking they would do. They would just end up increasing the price of the house by another 25,000. Right? That's never going to happen because 25K down is nothing, and those people will lose the home. They didn't type out the rest. But I get what you're saying. They can't afford it anyway. Right? And that's what caused the last housing crisis, didn't it? The last housing crisis was people buying, they were getting approved for homes that they couldn't afford, and a lot of people lost their homes.
Yeah.
That's what caused the last housing crash. Dear God, I'm suffering from Bidenism tonight.
Mark's got dementia.
I do.
Democrat.
Customers, yeah, it is exactly only a 2% profit on food. So, and they do make a lot of their money off of alcohol and tobacco. 100% agree with you. Look at how many homes are currently for sale, and they want to build more homes, right? That doesn't make sense to me.
It does. They need to build more homes. There's more demand for homes than there are homes. So
there is. Well, there's more demand for Airbnbs and hotels right now, but we know the reason why. We're putting illegal immigrants right now into all these Airbnbs. We're putting them into hotels and so forth that being paid for by government while we have Americans sleeping on the street.
But we do need more homes, and we do need more homes. We need more houses. We need more houses to be more affordable so people can afford to buy them.
More small single-family homes.
I mean, single family, multifamily, whatever. We need apartments. We need homes. We need places for people to live. We need more of them. Because you got to think, people are going to keep having kids, right? You have 5 kids, right? The average, the birth rates are going down, but ultimately speaking, you need more houses. You need more places for people to afford to buy. I'm all about building houses because that keeps my job lucrative.
Right, exactly.
I sell my product to builders, so right. I'm all about
we need homes, right? He's
developed. Yeah,
exactly.
He's fucking building houses.
He's speaking from a business point of view.
Yeah.
Marty does say we need to lower the interest rate so people can afford homes. 100% agree with you on that. Totally. We got locked in on a decent interest rate. We bought it right before they started spiking up. In California, with permitting EPA and fees, it's tens of thousands just to break the ground. That is insane, customer support. That is insane. Good Lord. Yeah, so Gary's speaking to the point of view, and I get it. To build more homes, to do construction, we do need that economy boom, in order for that simple fact. But to also bring down the cost of a lot of things, people, what we have to do, Donald Trump has said it, we do need to drill, baby, drill, and we do need to make America energy independent. Absolutely. And yes, Julia, we do need to figure out childcare. I can't disagree with you on that. Childcare is absolutely expensive. The question is, we need to sit down and figure out how do we make childcare more affordable for families that are having children. Because a lot of people are holding off on that, right? Because they can't afford childcare and work, which then in returns puts them on a welfare. They end up collecting food stamps, medical, and TANF and stuff like that to push them through because they can't work because they can't afford childcare. I'm actually for using child care tax credit. Yeah, I'm for that.
Yep. It is a tax
I am for that.
deduction.
I'm not sure if I agree with Tim Cass regards to Social Security as well, by taking Social Security out. There was talks about that on Tim Cass show where they were talking about he was like, listen, I'm all for getting rid of Social Security. Like people should be saving up themselves for retirement. I find that really hard right now, especially in this economy, for people to save up for freaking Social Security. Like, I know I absolutely would not. I'd be screwed. I would absolutely be screwed.
Say that again. You'd be screwed if what?
If they did away with Social Security when I got old and I couldn't work no more. I feel like I would be screwed. Because
it's hard to say that Social Security will even be a thing by the time we retire, though.
That is true. What's this? Marty says, what would be the issue if we eliminate all sales tax and raise the tax on the 1% people?
Look, I hate paying taxes as much as the next person. What I think would be better than getting rid of sales tax is being able to decide where the taxes that you pay are spent, right? Like, do you want to spend your money on infrastructure and then everybody should get like an itemized line sheet showing how our tax money was used? I think that would be better than getting rid of it. If I could pick and choose where my money went, specifically my money, and everybody else having that ability also, I think that would be better. And we got to also understand that the tax code, whether it's for the 1% or whoever, is written in a way for us to be incentivized. So you can take your money and you can put it in investments and you can do that stuff and make your money grow over time, right? 401ks, Roth IRAs, any other type of IRA, you can do that as part of a tax write-off. If we were educated on how the tax system was created, how it's used, and how we can use it to benefit ourselves, having tax literacy, I think, would be even better than abolishing the taxes. The 1%, they know the tax code because they pay really smart people who are well educated on the entire tax program and how it's written, and they know how to use it. If you're a 1099 employee, you can write a lot of things off. And believe it or not, there's a lot of companies that are willing to make their employees contract employees and 1099 employees. You're responsible for your taxes, and you need to figure out things that can be written off and how to use the money properly. I think that's more important than getting rid of taxes.
Agreed. I'm sorry. I was looking up one of those things that we're going to talk about. Looks like it may have been flagged for something else. So we'll talk about that real quick as well. If we raise tax bracket on the 1% people from the 8 to 10% to a normal 15 to 20%, we would not have trillion in debt.
The debt is not created by people not paying taxes. The taxes, the trillions in dollars in debt is because the government keeps just printing money. That's the cause of the debt. It's not people not paying taxes. We're giving billions of dollars a year to foreign countries, and our infrastructure is falling apart. That's a problem. Like, that's why I say we need to be able to pick and choose where our taxes are going. And the government needs to stop just printing money and just giving people money. That's what's causing debt.
The more we print, the more the taxes are going to go up, the more debt we're going to go in.
Yeah, like we're like 32 or 37 trillion dollars in debt. Like, I don't know. The interest on that alone, we can't even get away from. So
Marty says he was under the impression we overspend and never collect on our debt.
yeah, the overspending is us just printing money.
Casey, where do I sign up for the fresh printed money?
You have to be the president of Ukraine.
That is facts. Facts. You got to go beg for it and say that you're going to do something. If what was
And all
it?
of these student loans that are being quote unquote forgiven, that's coming out of the tax money. Like, and the people don't understand that when they're getting that student loan forgiveness, the IRS is going to consider that additional income. So if you have $200,000 in student loan being forgiven, the IRS is going to say you made $200,000. So you're going to have to owe on that.
Yeah, they're going to get taxed a shit on that.
Yeah, they're going to get fucking robbed. So
Exactly.
it sounds good on paper, but it's like nobody knows how it's working.
Agreed. All right, so there was something else we were going to talk about because I thought it was news today, but it finds out that this post was referred to from an article in March. So Rosler earlier posted on X that the New York Times is reporting that President Joe Biden has ordered U.S. forces to prepare for a possible nuclear confrontations with Russia, China, and North Korea. This thing has since been flagged on X, saying readers added context they thought people might want to know. The author of the tweet is referring to a New York Times article, which refers to the article strategy approved in March. So it looks like it was, wait a minute. That's freaking hilarious, though. Hold on, I'm going to share the screen over here. Oh, it ain't going to show it. Oh, wait a minute. This is Reuters. U.S. says sees secret nuclear strategy, not a response to a single country or threat. In Washington, August 20th, a classified nuclear strategic plan approved by President Joe Biden this year is not a response to a single country or threat, the White House said on Tuesday after the New York Times reported and orientated. All right, so that's just them sharing the context of it from writing out. So supposedly that was done in March then. So I guess that really is not relevant to what I was going to talk about on that. Because I was going to talk about how it's funny how they said that, you know, Trump was going to put us in a nuclear war, whereas we never really heard anything about nuclear war or anything like that during Trump's presidency. But the talk about nuclear war has been thrown around quite a bit underneath the Biden administration. The threat on America wasn't even that high during the Trump administration. But let's go to some more interesting stuff. This is where Zach was kind of crying that he was not going to be in here tonight because he's sick. UFOs, baby. Let's get to something that put a smile on Gary's face. Let's talk about UFOs. Are the aliens finally coming to say hi to us? We're going to go over here to oh, wait, this one's 20 hours ago. Anyone else witnessed these tonight over California? Let's go to these videos real quick. And then we'll also go to the ones that happened on the 17th. What's this one?
Oh my God, I didn't have it on record. What the heck is that? What are those? Oh my God, Mom. What is that? I don't know. Hold on. Hold Taylor.
Wait, hold on. I want to see how they think they are.
What the heck? Look at that. Oh God, the light.
The question is, I'm looking at these though. Could those be the Elon Musk satellites?
Could be.
Because that's what I'm thinking what those are. Because when you think of, she's got a picture here, she's got them here, but typically those are in a straight line, aren't they?
So here's my take on this. I am 110,000% pro aliens and pro UFOs. Those are drones. The one you're showing right now, those are drones. That was filmed. That's been debunked. We need to understand drones move really fast.
Right.
And
Oh,
when
they
they're high in
absolutely
the
do.
air,
I've got some.
yeah, they're not going to be loud. You're not going to be able to hear them over the normal like city sound or whatever. So, I mean, I want to believe. I want to believe. I want nothing more than for our alien overlords to come down, make
Overlords,
themselves.
huh?
Hey, man, I'm all about it, especially right now. But I just like everybody seems to film these things with a potato. The image quality is always trash. We are in 2024. Phones have like 50 megapixel cameras. They're really good in low light, but for some reason, nobody can ever film anything remotely decent. And when they do film it, it's literally a bunch of drones. I mean, I want it to be real. I want these to be interstellar, interdimensional beings traveling from X amount of light years away. I want that to be the case. I just,
See.
yeah, look, those are drone shows. Drone
Yeah, well, this
shows
one was
are
in California, right? This one was
ridiculous.
not in California. These were out in China. Those ones were debunked.
Yeah, and it's just like anybody can go out and buy a little squadron of drones. They're cheap enough. Buy them on fucking Temu or whatever. And half that shit's CGI, or it's filmed with a potato, or it's drones. Like, unless a real UFO is, 200 yards away and it's massive and it's covering 2.5 miles of the sky in front of me, it's really hard for me to buy it.
Right. Marty, I'd love to play that video. You didn't send that to me through X, though. I wouldn't be able to pull that up on the screen. Marty sent me a video of a UFO. It's quite interesting. But I know I can't play it because it's freaking... If he sent it to me on TikTok, TikTok won't fucking let me find it on the browser. But let's see. Because this one right here, this is the one that I think was in China, right? Palmdale, Lancaster area.
What the hell is that?
What is happening? You guys see this?
Because the light's right there, right? Red, blue. I wouldn't think that would be a UFO at all.
I mean, that's...
To me, that would be like you were saying, a drone.
Yeah, and it's like you can have 5 drones go up at the same time. Like, that's not unheard of.
It's a floating police car. Maybe someone made a police car drone. The black ring one, that's pretty interesting. But then again, CGI.
But nobody else is seeing it. There's a bunch of people walking around. Nobody sees it. If
Right.
all those people were right there and that was real, everybody would be looking up shitting themselves.
Exactly.
You got one dude with a camera, and there's 1,000 people around him. Nobody sees it.
Yeah, I don't know. So you're saying are you calling the UFO sightings in California debunked?
Kind of. I mean, I'm not buying it, and I'm as pro UFO as it can possibly be. Me and my coworker were literally talking about this yesterday and today. Not these particular ones, but other UFO disclosure stuff. And it's like I want nothing more than UFOs and aliens to be real and to be trying to come here and make themselves known. I want that to be the case, but I just, even with like all the government, like David Grush and all these guys coming out and like saying that alien or otherworldly technologies have been discovered and known, it's like, out of the entire planet, why would the aliens only make American government aware of it? Right? There's a lot of land on this planet, and they're just going to give it to America. As much as I like America, I don't think that we are exclusive
Right.
to some interdimensional extraterrestrial technology.
But there have been UFO sightings across.
Listen, I'm pro UFO. There's a lot of them that are not able to easily be explained. There's stuff from back in the day that's compelling,
Right.
but with all the misinformation and disinformation, even from our own government, I don't know, man. As much as I want to believe that it's all true, all of the stuff that comes out recently with AI and drones, I can't fully support the new release of
AI.
video quality videos.
AI is going to make it hard to believe a lot of shit.
For sure.
It really is. 100%. Like the more AI advances, it's going to get scary as fuck because you never know. They could literally fake a U.S. president and make the American people believe that someone's within office as a president when they're truly not. And it's just all AI videos generated.
Totally.
And to make us think that there's a president staying within the White House, but we don't have a president. And they're the ones that are actually running is the military complex.
And Sully, you can't say that we're the only living things.
I was
in the
waiting for
universe
you to respond.
because you don't know that. You might think that, but you don't know it. We don't know that we're alone. We don't know that there's UFOs. We don't know what happens after we die. There's more unknown than there is known.
Facts.
So even if you just look at quantum physics, if you look at physics in and of itself, people don't invent these things. They discover them. There are so many gaps in our understanding of just basic physics. So there's more that we don't know than that we do know. So take that and shove it, Sully.
Nexus on TikTok says maybe we need an AI president. They can figure a better way of doing things. That would be an interesting world, but that'd also be a scary world, right? If you had AI run our country, what if the AI fails, thinks that the world has gone to shit, and the AI thinks the only way to save the human population is to wipe out human population? And the AI, if you cannot control the AI because you have programmed the AI to have a mind of its own, the AI could do some scary shit. Exactly. Mama Jules, the Terminator. We would definitely be living in the Terminator days.
So AI scrubs the internet, right? Like that's where it gets its information, because the hive mind or whatever.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is look at Twitter or Facebook or any of these feeds, and you're literally gonna think humanity is doomed. But then when you go outside and you touch grass and you get away from the social media and you start having conversations with people who are the average person, you'll find out that the vast majority of people are pretty level-headed. Nobody really knows anything. We're all faking it through life the best we can. And the majority of people are decent human beings. But if you look on the internet, where you can hide behind fake aliases and you can be a keyboard warrior, those kinds of conversations online don't actually happen in real life. So if the AI is going to be scrubbing shit like Twitter, that's not going to be a very realistic perspective of what human beings truly are.
So Nexus of Power on TikTok made a comment. It's kind of interesting. So he says the wiping of a human population was already done once with God and Noah. So if you go on a biblical prospect, God did cause floods to do a reset. That's why Noah built an ark and did all that. So what if the AI is the new form instead of floods to figure out a way to wipe out human population?
Well, it could be a theoretical flood, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be like the actual flood of the ocean or anything like that. It could be a flood of information. It could be a flood of disinformation. Flood can be used in the same way that the word virus can be used, right? Like, is it an actual bacterial or viral infection? Is it a virus on your computer? Flood can be more of a metaphor than a literal oceanic torrent. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's I think the Matrix is real. I think this is all a simulation anyway. So
we've talked about that before, whether or not if we were living in a simulation and that when we die, we wake up on another side.
Nobody knows.
Nexus, because he was born with the brains. I don't know how that happened. I think it's because his mom didn't use the coat hanger on him.
It's all the microdosing. Nexus.
That's right. Gary does do the microdosing.
I do the microdose.
He does. So it's all he lives and breathes by the microdose. He does more experimental shit than I could dream of. I mean, this guy just recently did an experiment with ivermectin. Speaking of that, how did that work out for you?
It was great.
Was it?
Still using it.
No bad side effects?
Zero. I actually feel really good. My joints feel great. My digestion is great. My sleep is better.
Really?
Things are great. I like it. I still have more. I'll still be taking it on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? Because you researched, found out a bunch of stuff, number one, from the tweets and stuff like that, doctors talking about the more benefits that ivermectin really has. So you decided to experiment, said, fuck it, I'm going to try it out.
I biohack, yeah.
And it's working.
I take peptides. I do the ivermectin, a microdose. I'm a big believer in eating clean and fitness and no drinking, no smoking.
You do the little nicotine chew now.
I do a little nicotine, but nicotine is a nootropic. There's a lot of like proven benefits to nicotine as well.
So that should answer your question there. Next is why Gary is a little smarter than me.
And I'm not smart by any stretch of the imagination, by the way.
Smarter than me.
I mean, I'm a genius, but I'm not smart.
Fucking guy. I gotta make sure we clip that. What do we have? 1 minute, 1 hour in. All right, we gotta make sure we clip that. All right, well, let's get to another part here, folks. Let's talk about quickly, just touch up on this. The major divisiveness within this country, I think Gary probably agree with me as well, and majority of people can, is we have an issue within our country right now that if you are a Donald Trump supporter, people hate the living shit out of you, and they attack you before they even know your character or even know who you are. And I say this because we see it every day. We see it on mainstream media. We see it on talk shows. Anything that's left-leaning, Republicans get shitted on. And not every Republican, not any person is the same as another. Not everybody is racist. Not everybody is full of hate and spite. And that goes actually for all sides. I really hate to say it, but it does. It goes for all sides. Not everybody is all filled with hate and spite. I know a few freaking Democrats or people that are on the left side that are fucking damn great people. And they can sit there and have a conversation, agree and disagree, and understand that it's okay for us to have different political beliefs. But let's talk about the t-shirt that I wore the other day. I had somebody at the grocery store take a picture of me with this t-shirt on. It said, "Dear person behind me, please know." It was basically nice. We'll let them know that their life matters. It's an anti-suicide shirt to uplift somebody. I was wearing my Trump hat. Literally had somebody fucking freak out on the comments because I saw this lady posted my local community page, flip out because of the Trump hat. They're all bitching about the Trump hat, and I'm about ready to have fun because I just saw that fucking comment come up here. I was just talking about the hatred in this country and the biggest divide that we've ever had because political-wise, and somebody decided over on YouTube to post Trump one-termer. It's justified to not like someone's politics because Donald Trump is an anti-constitution. That doesn't make sense to be against it. How is he an anti-constitutionalist? So that's what I want to know, number one. Number two, how is hating anybody absolutely justified? I think even from the get-go, I've always said that hate is a strong, absolute strong word. You can dislike somebody and still not agree with them, but understand that they are a human. This is one of the reasons why I've been fighting with my mother and other people out there for the most hatred that they ever had for some of the rude and hateful shit that they said after the assassination attempt of Donald J. Trump. You can dislike their politics, but why bash them for them supporting their political beliefs? I have never once attacked anybody for wearing Biden or Harris shirts or hats because that is their political belief. We can 100%, I can't say that I never made any TikToks bashing people for certain things, but that I'm speaking my opinion, and I'm posting it out there on social media, but I physically never went out there and started attacking people or even personally attacked anybody unless they started attacking me first. And I've been attacked quite a bit on TikTok. Holy shit, have I been attacked on TikTok. But, and number one, no, I'm not saying they never say, hey, but you can disagree with their politics, but it don't mean you can bash them because of their Trump hat.
But how is he also anti-Constitution?
That's what I'm waiting for. You know, it's funny because I made a video. Second of all, Trump is anti-constitutionalist because he tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power. He did not. What is, okay.
So he's talking about January 6th?
He's talking about January 6th, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, you understand that is still he's not been found guilty of anything in regards to January 6th. And I watched that whole speech. I've actually had a family member down there on January 6th. They were there during his speech. Trump did not say... All right, it's called word twisting. Sound bites and clips are really big today's internet, and that's what's going to get this country in trouble. Sound bites and clips is what's going to destroy this country because it's going to drive people mad. There's been so many sound bites and clips made of Trump, even Biden, even Harris, that people have spread out there. They cut it up to make it sound the way they wanted to sound. Joe Rogan just recently had that, where it sounded like he was promoting Kamala Harris. They're cutting up sound bites and clips from him when he was talking about Tulsi Gabbard. And they had a couple of clips in there where he was also talking about Kamala, and they cut up the Tulsi Gabbard and the Kamala one to make it sound like friggin' Joe Rogan was promoting Kamala Harris. It's absolutely the same old rhetoric, Mama Jules. Absolutely is. The problem is with our friggin' country right now is people are focusing on, and listen, I hate mainstream media, and that means I hate Fox News. Do I watch it sometimes? Yeah, because I like to see what they say, but I also watch CNN, MSNBC, and I watch all these other ones too because I like to see what they have to say. But I hate mainstream media. It's absolutely the worst thing to watch because they all, let me repeat that one more time so everybody can hear me in the back. All of mainstream media absolutely freaking lie. Every one of them. MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, The View, the biggest liar out there out of all of them. Those ladies are absolutely psychotic. Absolutely psychotic. But damn, what are you searching right now, brother?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Let's see. Braden says only if there was one that right. But Braden, listen, man, that's why you have to widen your horizon. I've told my mother numerous times. My mother, once again, she's a Democrat, but she's one of those ones that are so far out there that she wishes Donald Trump would have been deceased during his assassination attempt. She said it publicly. So no, I'm not defaming her. So don't yell at me, Ma, if you watch this clip later. But listen, and you know, and I've told her that that's wrong. You should never wish death upon anybody. Not a single person should you never wish death upon anybody because that's a human life. And the simple fact is that is sad that we're there in our country. And those people that have got so much hate in them are the ones that are glued to the TV, hearing all the same old rhetoric BS. I have made multiple videos on my TikTok and have not had a single person duet me yet where I've asked them, let me know one policy that Kamala Harris is running under that you agree with and that you're 100% for without mentioning Donald J. Trump in your mouth at all. You cannot mention Donald J. Trump when you let us know. Let us know the policy. Not a single person can do that. Not a single person. No taxes on tip. Oh, wait a minute. Customer support. Donald J. Trump came out with the no taxes on tip first, and Kamala Harris decided, hey, I like that idea, and I'm going to steal that from Trump. That was a Trump thing first. And I think you already knew that, customer support. That's why you're throwing that out there. But no, it's sickening because they can't answer that question. They cannot answer that question. They just think they can only mention Donald J. Trump. When you ask them why you vote for Kamala, the only thing they can come up with is Donald Trump is bad. Orange man, bad. They cannot come up with their own opinion whatsoever. They can't. What is Kamala Harris going to do for you? She's saying, hey, I'm going to make sure we get the border worked on. What has she done for 3.5 years? Yeah, she was vice president, but she was also the, what do we want to call it? The border czar. And she did absolutely nothing for the border. I don't understand why people say you can't mention Donald Trump in an answer like that. If you view someone as bad candidate, you can absolutely... No. All right. So Donald Trump, one-termer. So in other words, you're voting for Kamala Harris because you don't like Donald J. Trump. You understand when the first time Donald J. Trump ran, they said that our country was doomed if he became president, and that we would be facing a nuclear war and we would be starting up other wars if Donald J. Trump was elected. This is all the stuff they're throwing out at you when he was running for his first term. And the 4 years that Donald J. Trump was president, our economy was booming, businesses were booming, all up until the time that Rona started. All up until the time Rona started. And then, of course, businesses went down because they shut us down. We were forced to shut down our businesses. We were forced to stay in our homes and wear fucking face diapers on our faces when we had to go grocery shopping and go out anywhere. When come to find out, Lord and behold, face diapers didn't even work. People were lost their jobs because they refused to take a vaccine that they didn't trust. But yeah, they lost their jobs for it, for an experimental vaccination. Kamala or RFK, since I'm a big 2A guy in constitutions. All right, well, hey, I'm a big-time 2A guy, too. RFK, you know, I do like some things RFK has to say, but to be honest with you, RFK is now talking about backing down and teaming up with Trump. They're planning on backing up Trump, which I think would be great.
Potentially. They're not 100% sure what they want to do yet, but that's probably the direction they're leaning.
Right. And listen, I say you give Trump his next 4 years. Maybe he can get us out of this friggin' shit show of a mess that we have. Maybe he can straighten out what's happening out in Ukraine. Maybe he can straighten out what's going on in Israel. We wouldn't have any new wars. No new wars. Just like we didn't have no new wars underneath the Trump administration last time. We can get America back to where it needs to be. And in 4 years, we can hire somebody else. I'll be honest with you. I was shooting for it, and you can even ask my brother. I was a Vivek Ramaswamy guy. I was looking 100% towards Vivek Ramaswamy. That's who I was going to vote for. But because the numbers weren't looking good at the polls, Vivek Ramaswamy dropped out and backed Trump. And if I look at underneath the Trump administration, I can't lie to you. My business was fucking booming underneath Trump. I had money in the wallet. My bank account looked fucking damn good. My grocery bill was not that high. My oil bill was not that high. I was living a damn good fucking life.
You were spending a lot of money on some weird shit.
Dude, I was absolutely spending some money on some weird shit underneath the Trump administration. I ain't gonna fucking lie. Because money was good. We were living a good fucking life. And now, underneath this current administration, finances suck balls right now. No, Trump is not anti-election. I really wish Trump one term you'd go back and watch that whole speech in full context. He did not say for them to go out and cause violence, and he denounced it. He told them to back down and told them not to be violent. He's made multiple videos during that. He even tweeted it out. What we have to listen, will I say that January 6th is bad? Yeah, there was a bunch of bad apples out there, but during the BLM riots, there was also a bunch of bad apples. Let's talk about that.
Those were peaceful protests, Mark. Burning down buildings and trying to kill police is a peaceful protest, according to progressives.
Oh, according to Kamala Harris, because she went ahead and helped raise funds to bail out people who burnt down businesses and destruction of property and hurt people in the streets.
Like, I go downtown Portland, and while it's cleaned up comparative to 3 years ago when COVID and homelessness was at an all-time high, there are more business plots for lease than than I could have ever imagined. When I first moved out here 6 years ago, small businesses in downtown Portland were booming. Like it was very productive. It's starting to pick back up, but it's taken so long, and there's still so much progress that needs to be made in order for it to even get back to where it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I don't know, man. I don't think destruction of property, when they start saying like destruction of property, you care about property and possessions more than people. That's like their argument, right?
Right.
But they're neglecting the perspective of property and businesses are things that people do and use to reward themselves for years and years and years of hard work. When someone gets a brand new vehicle, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're just balling out of control. Maybe it took them 15 years of their life to work, save up, and to reward themselves with a new vehicle. And then people go and destroy the vehicle. Or if Kevin and Jane Smith have been running their second generation small business, and then it goes and gets destroyed by a protester, and then people get pissed off because they care more about the business than the people. And it's like, that business was somebody's life. That's how they were able to afford things, travel, provide for their family and their children. So it goes beyond possessions and businesses and stuff like that, because people work their entire life. You are a small business owner, Mark. And if all of your business accounts that are also small businesses were destroyed by protesters, dozens and dozens of people would be negatively affected. Everybody that owns those businesses, works at those businesses, has children that they provide for. Like it's the destruction has an under-respected ripple effect. So I don't know. I feel like people have a really weird way of framing negative events to benefit their perspective, and I think it's missing a lot of pieces. There's a lot of gaps in the way that they're looking at the way these things are done. It's really bizarre or weird, right? That's the word now. Everything's weird.
Yeah, everything's weird.
Really weird.
God, I've been called weird so many times in my TikToks lately.
Well,
It's
I mean, you
freaking
are a little weird. You are kind of
weird. You know? I love it when they try making like fucking wax at my facial hair. I'm like, I know it's patchy. I don't give a fuck. I still like it. But let's go. So Trump, one term over here says, so I think a lot of protesters lucked out. I 100% don't think they lucked out, because you've seen it. The judges just dismissed the case and said, we're not prosecuting. They just decided not to prosecute. You can go back to January 6th and look at how many law enforcement officers, DC police, or Capitol Police, I should say, opened up the door freely to let people in. How many people were vandalists at the time? There's quite a bit. But how many people were in there actually peacefully? I mean, look at the fucking guy that was wearing that fucking thing on his head. All he did is go sit on a fucking desk. He didn't vandalize anything. He just walked in. He was even talking to the Capitol Police as he's walking down the hall, having a conversation. The January 6th was bad, but it's not to be compared to 9/11 like freaking some of the Democratic Party has done.
It wasn't a coup. That's not a coup.
No, 100% not a coup. What happened to Biden's a coup. What happened to Biden's absolutely a coup. Right, but listen, you got to blame a lot of this on the Capitol Police too. Trump one-termer. Have you seen one Capitol Police officer start being charged for opening up the doors to let people in? Oh, I will agree, but it's not Trump's fault. That's the thing that people need to understand. January 6th was not Trump's fault.
There was no inciting violence in anything that he said.
Not at all. And do I think these people deserve the punishments that they got in courts? No, not all of them. There's some people that were there just fucking on the outside of the Capitol building that are spending like 10 years in jail for this bullshit. They don't deserve that. Especially for people that burnt down people's businesses and destroyed property are walking free on the streets. Because I'm okay with the pardon. Are you okay with all the BLM protesters and stuff like that? They got pardoned and told to walk around the streets. They don't, maybe a year's worth of jail for some of these people, but not 10, 20 years. But I could argue until my face is blue. We can just agree to disagree on some of the facts of January 6th. January 6th, Trump is innocent. He did not incite violence. That's how I'm going to look at that. We do agree that January 6th, there were some people that were bad, but not all of them were bad there. Oh, no, but Kyle Rittenhouse definitely took care of a few of them.
That was different.
That
was different.
Dude, talk about hate. That's the other thing. Listen, and I'll even agree with you. There's people on the right side that are too far right, too, that are attacking people. So don't get me wrong. Yes, I agree that there are a lot of left people attacking the people who are conservative and voting for Trump. But there are a lot of people on the right, like Cat Turd. I love that guy's fucking post. But he is batshit far fucking right because he's attacking people. Tim Cass made a funny post doing a test where he posted, I endorse RFK. RFK came out all excited. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. And Cat Turd just went off on him because he wasn't back behind Trump. Like Cat Turd flipped the fuck out on him. And just like they flipped out on Kyle Rittenhouse when Kyle Rittenhouse was backing up someone, like they attacked the shit out of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Like I don't agree with a fair amount of Tim Cast or Tim Pool. Like he's a little over the top, and he has a really hard time of backing down when he's wrong. And he's been wrong on a handful of things, and he just digs his heels in and kind of makes himself look like a fool. But again, that's like politics, and I think that's just with like literally everything in life. I think it's impossible to be 100% right, regardless of where you are on any type of spectrum, right? Whether it's politics or just fucking life in general. But I don't know. Tim Cast has pissed me off because he skateboards and some of the shit that he does, and he thinks he's a badass skater, and he's not.
Please clip this. Please clip this.
He's got some tricks, but he's not a badass. Like I've had 5 knee surgeries, and I could still probably outskate that fool. So,
oh shit!
I'll play him a game of skate. I'll whoop his ass.
All right, yeah. Tim Cass. I doubt you'll ever see this, but if you do, my brother says he can outskate your ass. And yes, this is my stepbrother, Braden.
Half brother, dipshit.
Half brother. Oh, okay. Do you guys like Trump's stance on 1A? So this is what we just talked about this earlier about the burning of the American flag. I don't agree with it, and I would love to see someone to get jail time, because if you can get jail time for burning the pride flag, listen, I'm for it, because if you can get jail time for burning the pride flag, then you shouldn't get jail time for burning the American flag. No, you shouldn't
get jail for that.
But until they remove that, if you can get jail time for burning the pride flag, then you should get jail time for burning the American flag.
I don't think you should get
Go for it. No, go for it.
Go for it.
No, I'm just saying that's my point of view on it. If you can get jail time for burning the pride flag, then you should get jail time for burning the American flag.
And my stance is you shouldn't get jail time for either, because it should be protected under the First Amendment for freedom of expression and freedom of speech. I don't agree with it. I think people who do that are shitty people, but and it's not that 2 wrongs make a right. I feel like you should be able to kind of, as long as you're not inciting actual violence, right? Like if you can't yell bomb inside of a movie theater, right?
Right.
Like that makes sense. But like if you want to be a dipshit and burn a flag, be a dipshit and burn a flag. Like I don't like it, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like. And if I don't like it.
I think he was referring to me, though, where I said if you can burn the pride flag and get arrested, then you should, if you burn the American flag, you should get arrested. I think he's referring to me about 2 wrongs make a right.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't get arrested for burning a flag, period. It is bullshit, but you should not get a charge. Same thing with the pride flag. I think it's fucking stupid. Whatever. If people want to express themselves and if that's how they want to do it, then do it. I think you're a dipshit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today at the beginning of the show. We were talking about this. We showed a video where a guy was doing it, and then he said how much he hates this fucking country, and he said burn it all down. And we were talking about, well, then maybe you should move the fuck out of this country, because if you don't like this country, you don't need to live here.
And even that kind of perspective, I think, is a bit harsh. These people who are doing these things are ill-informed, and they're using their emotions, and they're not thinking logically. And it's like, if you get rid of America for what it stands for, you will not have the ability to say, burn this country down. You can say that because America is what it is. You go to another country, if you go to China and you even question anything that Xi Jinping does, you and your cousins and your brothers and your aunts and uncles, all of them their lives will become exponentially more difficult. And that's because that's the way that nation is run, right? And we have a particular level of freedom here where we're allowed to say these things without having negative remorse or recourse. So I don't know. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you should go to jail for expressing yourself. Same thing with purple.
Same thing with purple what?
It was the same thing with purple hair. People express themselves. So it's like you go to jail for having purple hair. No, that's your freedom of expression, right? You want to get fully inked up and do body mods and turn yourself into a fucking iguana? Go for it. Yeah, they're not burning the flag over there because they'll go to jail. And that kind of tacks into something that we were also saying about Trump, talking about China and Putin. He's not bowing down to these people. He's respecting the power and the authority that these people have. Doesn't mean he wants to do that here. It's just also those people have pride in their country.
So they don't. I'm not sure if you saw it. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but he is talking about there wasn't during one of Trump's speeches. He did say like there should be a mandatory 1 year in jail, or whatever. And I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, and look, there's no president that's going to be 100% right. And so that's just Trump stating his pride for the United States of America, right? So he's proud to be an American. Unfortunately, what's happening is the universities are brainwashing these young, moldable minds to hate America. That's what's happening. That's truly happening in this country. People in their early 20s and late teens or whatever are being taught that America is a shitty country. We're not a shitty country, but that's what they're being taught. Other countries, like China, are not allowing students or their universities to teach the students to hate China. Like they're teaching them the complete opposite. They're teaching them to have pride and to be proud to be Chinese. And that's what we're missing is our schools are indoctrinating young minds to hate this country. And that's the problem is the universities have gone too far to the fucking left and they're using Marxist tactics and Marxist language and people hate. We have safe spaces for fucking, you can't read a book. They're banning books because like they have controversial topics in them or they have language that might be too hard for some people to digest. The whole point of an education is to be presented with these types of situations that are forcing you to think outside of your comfort and to look at things through a different perspective and a different lens, not necessarily hate the fucking country that you come from. Every country has a dark past. It's just part of human history. Every country has had a dark past. And instead of acknowledging that, they say America is a shitty country, and that's not good. I just feel like people need to understand that you're going to meet people with different views and different perspectives and learn how to have a civilized conversation and challenge the way that you think. I used to be a hardcore fucking liberal.
Oh, yes, he did.
right? I was a liberal, and I had to challenge my own thinking and figure out, why do I think like this? Why are these things that I believe? And I changed my mind. And I think that that's not a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of strength if you can challenge yourself and change your own perspective on the way you see the world, yourself, and all of the events that are kind of unfolding around us. People need to be better at that. Yeah, I was a liberal. I was a fucking liberal, but I mean, I'm not anymore. I mean, I'm definitely Republican, but I feel like I'm pretty center on a lot of things. I don't agree 100% with everything the Republicans say, and I definitely don't agree with 100% of the things that the Democrats say. There's 350 million people living in this country. That's a lot of people, and everybody has a different way of life, and we have to find a way to make the middle class strong, shrink the lower class, and the people in the upper class, I don't mind them. I don't mind seeing billionaires and multimillionaires, because those people fucking found the way to make it work. It's a game, right? If this is the Matrix, if this is a simulation, play a video game. How do you win the game? You get good at it. You know the rules. So fucking learn the rules and learn how to play the game.
So I think you're being asked another question, Gary, here from Trump One Term. Says, so do you think anyone could vote Kamala and genuinely think that's best for the country? Or do you think they're trying to burn it down or sabotage it like those college students?
I think that the people who are hardcore, it's a spectrum, right? Like there's no direct answer on this. I think there's a lot of people who genuinely believe she's going to do a great job. But the question is, why do they believe that? Are they just anti-Trump, or do they hear only left-wing propaganda and that's the only thing that they're willing to consume themselves with? Like if you're going to have a grounded perspective on anything political or what have you, it's good to read both sides, right? Like I'm pro-life. This is where it gets conflicting when it comes to like any type of like stance. I'm pro-life, but I'm also pro-choice. How can that possibly be, right? It's a conflicting view. The thing is, I am pro-life. Me, as an individual, I am pro-life. But if there was a reason to abort, like the child is going to be, severely dismembered, is the quality of that life going to be great for that person? Some people just say it's the will of God and they're willing to do that. Is the mother's life going to be compromised in carrying that child to birth? I feel like there are instances where people should be able to make educated choices with their medical practitioner on whether or not to abort that particular situation. I don't like it, and I don't think it's a good thing. That's a hard decision to make for anybody. Those people that are out there saying, I've had 21 abortions, those people have mental illness. So to kind of go back to answer your question, I feel like the people who are hardcore Kamala, my question is, what is the motive? Is it just anti-Trump, pro anybody else? Or have they been like consuming hardcore left-wing propaganda, and there's right-wing propaganda as well? And are they refusing to just challenge the way they're thinking, or even to look at the other side and get another perspective? And yeah, for a thing like if it's rape, there are plenty of women who have, conceived a child during rape and they've carried it to full term. Those women are very strong, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. I hope their child ends up being an amazing child, right? I hope it becomes a great person. But if a person does become impregnated by a rape, and if they do want to discard of that, fetus, then that's their decision. But that's an outlier situation. These people who are just, these women who just want to go out and have sex with anybody and do everything they want to do, and then just take, get an abortion at fucking 5 months or whatever it is. Like, I just feel like there's unresolved mental issues that need to be addressed. And that's a huge problem with America, is there's a lot of unwell, unfit mentally people mental. Is that right? Does that make sense?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, those words sounded weird when I said them, but the point is kind of there. Like there's a lot of like mental instability that's going on right now. And I don't know if it's just America, it could be a global thing, but I'm focusing mostly on Americans. But
No, you're agreed. And the thing is too, it's a lot of it's being burnt up on fire because what we talked about earlier too is mainstream media and all these talk show hosts on all spectrums, both left and right, spread so much hate to cause this much hatred between everybody. And that's why we have this biggest divide. And I think we have a bigger divide now politically than we have a divide on race. In my opinion, I think that or they could be more balanced out at this
I
point.
feel like there's a lot of class separation going on right now. There's a lot of I can't remember the name of the thing, identity politics. That's what is being thrown around right now. So instead of it being a warfare on class, it's a warfare on identity, right? Left, right, LGBTQ, and otherwise. Like back in the day when I was skating, there was a huge conflict between skateboarders, rollerbladers, and jocks, right? Like we all fucking hated each other. Nowadays, you know, we kind of still make fun of rollerbladers, but the whole fitness and skateboarding thing.
Fun, bitch.
I mean, it was. I rollerbladed, whatever. But skateboarding is way cooler. But now, like, fitness and skateboarding have, like, kind of come full circle. And now there's a lot of really high-level professional skateboarders who are gym rats. And the same thing ties out with everything in life. Like we have differences, and instead of celebrating these differences, we're using these differences to like really segregate ourselves from one another. When it's like, if you're in America and you are truly an American, embrace the differences in the different cultures that are coming here. And instead of hating somebody because of their particular religious belief, there's a way that we can all get along.
Or there's something you have in common. Absolutely, there's something you all have in common.
I mean, a lot of religions, especially Abrahamic religions, they all have a very similar framework. And then, you know, there are the differences between them, and they seem to be vast amongst the people who follow any particular line of faith. But I don't know. It's just people, despite their class or their race or whatever, they want to have food, they want to have shelter, they want to have security, they want to have friends and family, and they want, you know, that's the common thing amongst all people. And if people could start focusing on that instead of the things that are different and trying to draw these larger disparities between one another, I think the world would be a better place.
Right. Agreed.
That was a lot of words. Sorry.
Those were a lot of words.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. No, that's fine. You were letting it out, Gary. You were letting it was, but hey, it's going to look good. Sound bites and clip, baby. Sound bites and clips. No, in all reality, though, folks, we can do fucking better. All right, guys. I feel like I'm hijacking here. Sorry. No, man, listen, we love the comments. We love having that discussion because that's what also helps, you know, number one, discussing things with people because we are firm believers that everybody's right and entitled to their own opinions. And it's great to have a discussion because at the end of the day, we can agree and disagree on things, but we can sit there and have a beer or whatever and shoot the shit about other stuff. I don't really play sports. So I can't say sports, but there's other shit we can talk about that's not politics. What's this crazy? They locked me in a rubber room with rats. Oh, dear God. Okay, we got a lovely troll down there. Well, thank you, little man. We appreciate you. Anyways, folks, listen, my finishing context of this, our world has gone fucking crazy. And like I said before, many other times, I don't care whether you're on the left or the right, we can do better as humans. There are good things, good qualities in everybody out there, like Gary says, in every race or any mind thoughts, any political beliefs. There is good people out there in all ends. We just got to figure out how to meet in the middle and get along together. Because otherwise, the more divided we get, the more fucked up our country's going to get. And, you know, we were talking about civil war. We keep going down this right, we could possibly see one. It might not be the big civil war like everyone's thinking about happened back in the day, but we could see some type of a civil war between us if we keep going down this fucking road. And I'm hoping not, because I don't want to see a civil war, even though I talk about it a lot. Those are my words. Gary, what do you got before we get out of here?
And I'm laughing at this comment, Van Grander. That was a big sentence. There were no periods and way too many commas, man. I went a little over the top on that one. Sorry, guys. But I said my piece, and I don't think the world's gone mad. I think there's some mental instability. I think there's some uncertainty, some fear, but I think people will be all right.
And Farmer Pogue, yes, run-on sentences can be crazy. By the way, just so everybody knows, Big Mike has just spoken at the DNC. We're getting out of here.
You've been listening to The Mark G Show. You may know them from
It's Mark G. I want to thank everybody personally for coming out and watching the podcast today. If you're listening to Apple and Spotify, I want to thank you personally as well. It was phenomenal. Just so everybody knows as well, we are trying to have a little more fun with our channel. So not only are we doing these fun and political type of based podcasts, but we're also trying out the whole game streaming thing too as well. So make sure you're following us at the Mark G Show on every possibility that you can on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok, as well as Kick. I do look forward to having some fun. And listen, maybe we can game together at some point as well. I appreciate y'all. And also, make sure you follow Better Broken Athlete on X and Instagram. He is posting some crazy pictures out there, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all later.